Mic check, mic check. Okay, look like my sounds is good. Turn this mic up. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge lady Mocha, represent Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you wisdom, knowledge, and spiritual awareness. Thought it was imperative that I did today's content talking about how baby mama benefits don't outweigh the rights of a wife. Now, if you haven't been keeping up, I've already did a couple of uploads pertaining to the situation with Desire Lindstrom and the late great DMX, Earl Simmons, known as rapper DMX. Basically, how she tried to get the rights of a common law wife, and basically the judge had denied it. Now, I had already spoken on this, but today I wanted to go a little bit more into details as to how the benefits of being a baby mama does not outweigh the rights of being a wife. There's a total difference. And I know there's a narrative that's being pushed around, especially you have a lot of female content creators that are telling women that they don't need a man, they can do it by themselves, they can be independent, they don't need, a father to be in their child's life and things of that nature. And that's true to a certain extent. I don't feel like a woman can't make it without a man, and I'm not saying that she can't, and I'm not saying that she should tolerate any and everything off a man just so he can be there for the sake of her child. But I will say this, is that as a woman, when you go into a situation knowing a man is already married, knowing a man already has multiple children for multiple women, and yet you still make the decision to add another child to the collection by getting pregnant from him, knowing that he already has these other issues going on with his baby mamas, and he has all of these financial obligations, yet you still choose to be with him, you put yourself at a disadvantage. And the reason why I want to talk more about this, because it's gotten to a point to where, what's up, Indigo, and everybody who's coming into the chat, it's gotten to the point to where we as Black women, we're not choosing. We're losing. As Black women, we're not choosing. We're losing. Because it's gotten to a point now in which, we are willing to put our future in jeopardy just to be with a certain man, and it don't matter what kind of man we choose as long as we can say we have a man. Now, truth be told, a lot of us don't make the best decision when it comes to choosing the right type of man to have a child from and to have a future with. And then when things go left, we want to automatically blame society. We want to play the victim role as if we don't understand why things are going the way it's going for us. And absolutely, it's very disgusting, and it's getting to the point now. This is the reason why a lot of us as Black women, we keep suffering. We keep suffering because we won't choose better for ourselves, and we really cannot get mad at society. We cannot really get mad at the men. This is something we have. This is something that we are not taking the proper precautions to protect ourselves from falling into this entrapment. Now, I will say there are some bum-ass dudes, there are some deadbeats, but that's besides the point. We'll talk about that for another day. Today, I want to talk about how baby mama benefits don't outweigh the rights of a wife. Now, a lot of content creators have been speaking on the situation with DMX and his fiancée, Desiree. We all are fully aware that DMX has 17 children, okay? And it's every bit of, I guess, 6, 7 baby mamas. Now, what I did not know, which I have found out later, I didn't know this when I discussed this the last content I did. All this time, I'm thinking the child, the little boy, the 5-year-old Exodus he had from his fiancée, I thought that was the last child. I thought the fiance's child was the baby of the bunch. Come to find out, that is not DMX's last child. DMX had a set of twins that are 1 year old as of right now in this year of 2021. So if you look at it, keep in mind, DMX was married to Tashira Simmons from 1999 to 2014. Okay. He had 4 kids from his first wife, who was with him before he became big, before he became successful. Him and Tashira was married all of those years. From 1999 to 2014 is when the divorce was finalized, which meant they've been married for 15 years. Now, keep in mind, within those 15 years, DMX had multiple extramarital affairs within the marriage. 11 children were produced within the marriage. Now, when he met Desire Lindstrom, which was the last woman he was with, the woman he had proposed to, he met her in 2013. Mind you, he was still married to Tashira. DMX and Tashira was still married in 2013 when he met Desiree. So when X got with Desiree in 2013, I guess that's when Tashira finally accepted the fact that, you know what, X is just not going to do right by me. Tashira finally got to the point to where she realized, I'm not going to win staying married to DMX. And I commend her, because you have a lot of women that would rather be miserable just to keep a title and a position than to leave an unhealthy, toxic situation. It takes a lot of courage to walk away from a man who you have been with throughout the duration of his struggles and his success. Tashira went through a lot with Mr. Simmons. All due respect, and this is not to discredit him as a successful rapper. This is not to make all black men look bad. This has nothing to do with that. I'm going somewhere with this. Tashira went through a lot with DMX. Not only she had to deal with him having all of these extramarital affairs, this man was also had a heavy drug addiction. She had to deal with all of these demons. While we witnessed, all we saw was the success. All we saw was the talent. All we saw was this gutter talented, hood, street, tell you like it is, successful talented rapper by the name of DMX. We saw DMX. She knew Earl Simmons. She had to deal with all of these demons behind closed doors. Marriage already isn't easy. On top of it, like I said, she had to deal with his drug addiction and the fact that he had no respect for his marital vows because he kept partaking in all these extramarital affairs that he had with these outside relationships. He had 11 kids on this woman. So Tashira finally got to a place in which she realized She couldn't love him enough to make him respect her. She couldn't love him enough to make him appreciate her. And she couldn't love him enough to make him keep his penis in his pants. And the last straw was when he got with Desire Lindstrom in 2013, because she finally divorced him in 2014. Now, at this point in time, Desire Lindstrom was with him. And this is what a lot of women don't understand. Whenever you get with a married man, you bring a curse upon yourself. There's nothing good that comes out of getting involved with somebody else's husband. Tell the truth, shame the devil. Now, everybody wants to talk about everything else, but that part we don't want to talk about. DMX was a married man. It does not matter what he said to... What's up, Sassy? It doesn't matter what DMX said to Desiree. I don't care if he told Desiree, I don't love Tashira no more. I don't want to be with her no more. I want to be with you. I want to marry you. Unless a man has legally signed divorce papers, he is somebody else's husband. We can't twist it. We can't bend it. That you cannot change that narrative. A married man is a married man. I don't care if he says, me and her, we stay in separate houses. I don't care if he says, me and my wife, we don't even have sex anymore. We don't even sleep in the same bed. I don't care if he says, I plan on leaving her. I want to leave her. Because the truth be told, Tashira divorced DMX. DMX didn't divorce Tashira. Hey, sissy, poetic. How you doing, girl? I'm a probably call you most likely when I'm done with my live. I'm going to hit you up today to holler at you. So just kind of listen out for my call because I'm going to holler at you. But everybody wants to talk about everything else, but ain't nobody hitting on the fact that Desire Lindstrom, DMX fiancée, she was dealing with the married man. DMX was married. Now, check this out because it gets more interesting. Because when you deal with a married man, you put yourself at a disadvantage. Now, keep in mind, again, DMX got with Desiree in 2013. She had been with him for 8 years, all right? She's been with him for 8 years. They have a 5-year-old named Exodus. Handsome little boy, looks just like his father. Well, honestly, all DMX kids look just like him. The man has some potent, you know what. But anyway, that's besides the point. All this time, I'm thinking Exodus is DMX's last child. Well, come to find out, Exodus is not DMX's last child here from his fiancée. He also knocked up another female by the name of Pebbles, who had his twins, and they will turn 1 this year of 2021, which means not only was X smashing Desiree in the course of DMX being married legally to Tashira, X also has smashed another female even when he was with Desiree. Because if he got with Desiree in 2013 and the last baby mama Pebbles, her twins are going to turn 1 in 2021, that means he was involved with this other last baby mama in 2018, because it takes a woman 9 months, nearly a year, to get pregnant. So the same thing that because Tashira got involved, because Desiree got involved with DMX, knowing he was a married man, guess what? The same thing X did to Tashira, he did it to her. The only difference was Desiree wasn't married to him. But a lot of the times, the way you get these men, you get involved with the man who was already married, 9 times out of 10, he's going to step out on you too. Very rarely can a woman get involved with a married man and she think he not do the same thing to her that he do to his wife. It's not going to happen. So as a woman, when you make yourself a second appetizer, all bets are off. You really don't get to place stipulations on how that man should respect you or shouldn't respect you, because you was willing to deal with him knowing he already had somebody. What's up, Kai? But what tends to happen is a lot of women do this. A lot of women set themselves up for failure because what tends to happen is feelings tend to take over common sense. And this is how we fuck ourselves every time. We let feelings overrule facts. I'll say it again. Women, we always allow feelings to overshadow facts. So even though Desire Lindstrom, DMX's fiancée, felt like she was his woman, which I'm not saying she wasn't. She was DMX's woman. But the bottom line was DMX was someone's husband. But this is what tends to happen when you start getting heavily involved with a married man. When you get heavily involved, you forget that you still don't really have a position. When you start getting heavily involved with a married man, meaning y'all living together, y'all traveling together, going out to eat, you're dining at the finest restaurants, he's buying you nice cars, you'll forget that you are still a side chick. Because again, feelings have taken over. And what tends to happen is you become complacent. You don't push for him to divorce his marriage or divorce, or he'll divorce his wife, but you'll get so comfortable with him just being your man, you don't try to motivate him to actually be your husband. And I believe that's exactly what happened with Desiree, because she's been with this man 8 years. So Tashira did divorce him within the second year of Desiree and DMX dating. She did divorce him finally the second year, because Tashira was like, you know what, I'm out. I'm not dealing with this disrespect anymore. You can have him. Go ahead, Desiree. You can have him. Thank you for taking this problem off of me. You can go ahead and deal with X. But DMX did the same thing to Desiree. He got involved with another female named Pebbles and had twins on her. So Exodus is not DMX's last son. But again, it's the feelings over facts syndrome. And emotions has always costed women. Emotions have always costed us. You think that every time you're spending time with a man, you think that every time you're having sex with a man, you think that every time a man is spending money on you, he's your man. He may be your man, but the problem is he's somebody else's husband. Yep, name is Pebbles. He had another baby mama who had his children in 2020. Thank you, Dotorian, for the $5 donation. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Women, feelings have always been our failure. Feelings over fact syndrome. Yep. That's my new slogan, y'all. Feelings over facts. Feelings has always failed us as women. Because we feel. I feel like anytime I hear a woman say, that's my man, it's because she feels like he's her man. And the sad part is a man doesn't even have to have legal ties. And as women, we'll go around claiming somebody who's not legally ours. Now, like I said, it's different if the man isn't married, he wasn't in a relationship, then yeah, that's your man. But if you meet a man that's married, I don't care how much time y'all spend together. I don't care how much money he spends on you. He's your man, but that's it. He's not your husband. And that's a very dangerous situation. A lot of us as women, a lot of us are putting ourselves at a big disadvantage when you go on claiming men who aren't entitled, that don't really belong to you. Yeah. And Indigo says, and I'm going to sound redundant, but Desiree, her self-esteem seems to be non-existent. Absolutely. Not only hers, the 11 other women outside of her who DMX had children with, same thing. Because what it is, women, we become so fascinated, we become infatuated with who a man presents himself to be, but not who he truly is. And that's our fault. You know what it was? I'm going to tell y'all what it was, y'all. They was looking at the fact they was having a baby from DMX, not Earl Simmons. Y'all feel me? They were so infatuated with having a child from DMX, not Earl Simmons. DMX the rapper. Females are intentionally they're investing children, investing their womb based on a man's title, but not based on his character. I can have a baby from a CEO. I can have a baby from anybody who makes a certain amount of money, who has a certain percentage. But that does not mean he's going to be a good father. My child is not going to get cheated. Just like you have a lot of women who had children from Lil Wayne, not Dwayne Carter. They wanted children from Lil Wayne, the rapper, not Dwayne Carter, the man behind the title of Lil Wayne. What's up, Jay Shine? Blessings to you. Title and income materials. Exactly. And what ends up happening is, as a woman, when we go having these children out of motives, when we have motives, when we breed and conceive these children, these motives usually come back to bite us one way or another. What's up, G Potter, by the way? And this is what happened. Desiree allowed her feelings. She was holding on to that dream of eventually earning the title as DMX wife. My thing is, he couldn't have took her serious because he'd been with her 8 years. He had plenty of time to marry her. Plenty. What's up, Cartier? And he wouldn't. The only woman that ever had got that position of being DMX's wife was Tashira. The rest of them were straight baby mamas. And as a woman, when you put yourself at a disadvantage of having children from a man who already has multiple children from multiple women, basically all you get is the baby mama benefits. And baby mama benefits don't outweigh the rights of a wife. Now, this is the part where I go into how being a baby mama puts you in a losing situation. Because again, I know it's a lot of women on here that's preaching and telling women you ain't got to get married. You don't need a man to raise your child. You could be a good mama by yourself. And this is not to discredit the single mothers. This is not to discredit women who did try to get married, who did want to do it the right way, but the baby daddy flaked out on them, or maybe he died, something tragically happened. You know, it's certain circumstances in which women cannot help being single mothers. But for those who intentionally knock themselves up so they can get the benefits of being a baby mama, then this is the disadvantage you put yourself in. First of all, one disadvantage in being a baby mama is that some men aren't good at handling business. DMX is a prime example that he did not handle none of his business. Doesn't mean he wasn't a nice guy. It doesn't mean he wasn't a good guy. That's besides the point. DMX did not handle his business. You have a lot of irresponsible, lazy men, as well as women, who don't handle their business. They will go around here producing multiple children for multiple women. They don't have a savings account. They don't have that one woman who they can trust and say, hey, if something happens to me, make sure this amount of money go to this person, this amount of money. They don't have a will set up. I noticed the most irresponsible people, men and women, these are the main ones who go around adding extra responsibility onto themselves. DMX did not handle his business, and none of the baby mamas, they didn't handle their business either. This has become a ghetto ass circus, a ghetto family feud. When you strive to be a baby mama, womb hustling. I like that one, Jay Shine, womb hustling. Rights can be taken away, but rights can't be taken away, but benefits can. Absolutely. When you strive to be a baby mama, all you receive is baby mama benefits, which means, like the Torian said, those benefits can be changed at any given moment. They can be altered at any given moment. They can be stripped at any given moment. See, this is where a lot of us as women, we don't think outside the box. We look at the here and the now. We don't look at years down the line. Desire Lindstrom was so happy to be on the arms of DMX. She did not prepare herself, handle none of her business, none of that, to where in an event, if something would have happened to him, she wouldn't have had to go to court and fight to get common law marriage. My thing is, if she had been with DMX for 8 years, at some point, she should have had a conversation with him and said, look here, I've been with you all of this time. You got all of these kids, all of these baby mamas. You are a man of success. You are a man that has plenty of royalties from all the music you done produce and everything you done put out there. Do you stop to think that if something were to happen to you, what position I would be put in? No, she was so busy flossing with him and being in magazines and TikToking with him and doing TikTok videos and all this other stuff that she didn't make sure that DMX protected her. And that's the least he could have did, was protect her. And as a woman, she should have made sure he did that. So both of them failed each other in that. Looking at y'all comments. Indigo says, you're looking at the financial aspect, not realizing that by the time she gets the money, she's already spent more. I don't see kids that's 18 years of lifetime commitment. And see, this is another thing. It's a myth. It's this big myth that once a woman reaps her baby mama benefits, that she's straight, that she's good for 18 years. Financially, yes. I will say this. Whenever a woman gets knocked up by a man, and if he's receiving income, child support, the state is going to make sure that man financially is responsible for that child. However, I've witnessed a lot of women receive child support only to still end up miserable because that's all they receive is the child support. Children are a full-time job. It doesn't matter if you're getting $1,000 a month. Certain things money can't fix. You have a lot of these women that will manipulate and play a lot of these mind games, to intentionally get knocked up, only to find out they try so hard to trap the man, but they end up trapping themselves. And regardless of what, it is a very bad situation, G. Porter. It is. But what I'm saying is, put it this way. Let's say if a woman gets $1,000 for a child, okay? Let's say that's what she gets, right? The judge grants, hey, you got to pay Kiki $1,000 a month for little JJ. So while it looked like she's winning because she's getting them $1,000, think about how high rent is. What is the average cost of rent? The womb hustling is not really working for women like it used to because the expenses these days are so much higher. What's up, Miss Jill? Good morning. The expenses are so much higher. The average rent is about $1,000. So if a female is getting child support, if she is getting $1,000, it goes to that rent. Somewhere she's still gonna have to hustle. She's gonna have to do something else because it's never going to be enough money. In other words, she's not winning like she thinks she is. I know women who done went to court every other couple of months asking for modification increase, to get the increase and still be struggling. I know more women who get child support struggling than women who actually work and don't get child support. Thank you, Red Mike Radio. And I'm definitely going to hit Starbucks this morning. So thank you for that $5 donation. I said, I know women who receive child support and they are struggling more than women who aren't getting child support, who are working, because a lot of times when you try to be grimy and you try to hustle, sometimes your hustle don't always work for you. In most cases, your hustle don't work for you. Not only that, you get the money, but what about the things that money can't compensate for? Because the truth be told, you have some women out here that are so evil, that are so vindictive, to where a lot of men don't want to do nothing but pay money. They don't want to have anything to do with the child. And honestly, I hear a lot of women who be ranting and raving and bitching and moaning about this all the time. That he don't do nothing. That's all he do. He don't never get his child on the weekend. He'll never call and see about his child. He don't want to do with his child. When really the actuality is, some men want nothing to do with the child because of the havoc and the stress they got to go through with the mother to be with the child. That is what a lot of women are not understanding. A lot of us as women, we make it very difficult. We make it very complicated for men to even want to participate, even down to the little things. You may have a man that might want to plan a birthday party for his child. He might want to plan a party. He might want to pay for the party, take care of expenses. But it's always a bitter baby mama who got to be difficult. Well, why the birthday party? Why we got to do it at your house? Why we can't do it at my house? Why your wife, why she got to come? What difference does it make as long as he is willing to do his part? The problem is you have a lot of these baby mamas. They think because they are the mother of the child that they have the power to dictate everything. And what tends to happen is when a man is trying, I'm not talking about the deadbeats. I'm not talking about the ones who you had a one night stand with and you didn't know him like that anyway. I can't help you in that type of situation. But the fact that, if y'all did have some type of bond or some type of connection before the child was conceived, the fact that he's there should count for something. But the problem is some women are so malicious and so bitter that they lost something that they cannot rekindle to the point to where they want to try to make a man miserable. They want to dictate everything. A man could offer, well, I'll buy the cake for the birthday. I'll get him a chocolate cake. He don't like chocolate cake. He like vanilla. Why you gonna get him chocolate cake for his birthday? He don't do chocolate cake. We do vanilla. You have some women that are just so malicious and so petty, and it's gotten to the point to where men damn near almost got to walk away from their children just to keep a peace of mind, because it's too much trying to be there for a child when you have a mother that's so vindictive, so malicious, so drama-filled. It's too much. Me personally, I know some of these women who will do any and everything to try to make the father of their child miserable because they're miserable. 9 times out of 10, as a woman, unless you're really mature, if you're miserable, 9 times out of 10, you're going to try to make the father of your child miserable. It is that displaced anger. Most of the time, if you are not where you need to be in life as a woman, you will take all that frustration out on everybody that ain't got nothing to do with it. I've seen women who end up in a point, they end up in the lowest point, they end up in a bad predicament, and they pretty much take it out on everybody, especially if the man is doing better than them. And this is what a lot of baby mamas are not understanding. Just because a man is sitting, just because the father of your child is sitting in a good place, that don't mean he needs to bring you in that place where he's sitting. I'm going to say that again because I don't think some of y'all heard it. Just because your baby mama is sitting in a good, just because you as a baby mama, just because your baby daddy is sitting in a good place, that don't mean you're supposed to sit in that good place with him. Other words, just because your baby daddy has a brand new house, it does not mean he has to buy you one. Just because your baby daddy has a brand new car, it does not mean he has to buy you one. Just because your baby daddy got a second job where he's getting more money, that does not mean he has to give you more money. Long as he's paying what he's supposed to pay and doing what he's supposed to do, that's it. Just because your baby daddy and his wife is going out of town or trips on cruises, that don't mean he got to pay for you to go on a cruise or for you to go somewhere. A lot of you baby mamas, y'all have it confused and messed up. Thank you, Jay Shine, for the $5 donation. Jay Shine says, Womb Hustling, the Sperm Donor Chronicles, written by Mocha. Oh, goodness. Jay Shine, I'm going to steal that one. These baby mamas have a screwed up sense of entitlement. And the problem is, the reason why a lot of you baby mamas, the reason why a lot of y'all are miserable, because y'all are too busy watching what your baby daddy do and watching what your baby daddy have, instead of you going out there and you trying to establish something for yourself, you trying to build something for yourself. That's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be pocket watching your baby daddy. Every time he buy a new car, you trying to calculate how he could afford that. He buy a new home, you trying to calculate how he could afford that. No, what you need to do, instead of focusing on what he's doing with his money, focus on stacking your own bread. Focus on, trying to establish something for your future. If you're building and you're striving to better yourself, guess what? You don't have time to pocket watch what other people are doing because you're doing your own thing. A lot of baby mamas would not be miserable if they was doing their own thing and not looking at what a man is doing with his money. Stop looking at what your baby daddy is doing with his money. Stop looking at, oh, he got this, he got that. If you were doing something fulfilling with your life, you would not have time to focus on what he's doing. Another big thing too is a lot of baby mamas, a lot of the times their misery come from the fact they don't have a man of their own. That's another big problem. That's like number one in the hit list of the bitter baby mama is when she don't have her own man. What's up, BK Born? Baby mama gradually but surely understand that is really an extension of slavery, plantation, family structure. Baby mama had no authority over his seed, and we don't today legally. Pretty much. Bitterness and jealousy will block your blessings. Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the biggest problems is a lot of these women don't have a man of their own. And it's unfortunate but you have a lot of women, especially those who have low self-esteem, their value is based on having a man. And you have some females, because they don't have a man, they don't feel of value. They don't feel valuable. You have a lot of women who think that if they have a man, it helps them to be validated. It gives them validation. Now, the other spectrum of it is those who do have a man. They still be miserable too. Because 9 times out of 10, the man they got, he ain't really stepping up to the plate. They just want to hurry up and get a man to prove a point to the baby daddy that, okay, well, you got you somebody, I got me a man too. You have a lot of bitter baby mamas who would intentionally go out there and grab a quick layaway dude, make a quick microwave relationship just to prove a point, and will get with another man still struggling. So therefore, they still bitter with they baby daddy. So it go both ways, because I know women who do have men and still nasty, still hateful, still pocket watching, and all that comes from whenever you have a baby mama who has a man and she's still in her feelings about her baby daddy, she's still, trying to make his life miserable, whatever. It's because the man she's with, he's not really doing what he's supposed to do. Yep, exactly, Miss Jill. They pretend to be happy. It's what's called a united front. Anybody could have a man. That don't mean you happy. You know how many women are unhappily in a relationship? It does not matter. Running out there and grabbing you a man just to say you got one, that don't mean you happy. And a lot of baby mamas will do this. Oh, he got somebody, I'm going to get me somebody too. Now how it is, and these will be the same ones the baby daddy be living with them, but she calling and asking him for an increase in child support. Now how you got this dude staying with you, living with you, but you still looking for your baby daddy to give you more money? What is your what is your man doing that you pretend to be so happy with? What is he doing? Nothing. You got him as a united front. And my thing to me, it's embarrassing. If I already got a man in my life, I'm not about to call my baby daddy and ask him for nothing, because to me, it's looking like the man I'm with, he ain't got shit. And the man that I'm with, if it's looking like he ain't got shit, that make me look like shit. I never understood women who do that. Why would you call your ex-husband or your baby daddy And he know you got a man. He know you got a man staying with you. Do you not realize you make yourself and your new man look bad when you have to call your baby daddy or your ex-husband for something for more money when he's already paying child support? I knew men personally who was involved with women who was getting child support, and when times got hard, they boyfriends will tell them, well, you need to go ask for an increase. You need to go get some more child support. You need to get more money. A real man who's staying with a woman, he has pride. He has pride. He's not going to encourage his woman to go keep bumming off her baby daddy, because that makes him look less of a man. So if your boyfriend or your man is living with you and you got to call your baby daddy for gas money, you got to call your baby daddy when your tire blow out, and here it is, you got pretty boy unemployed Floyd laying on your sofa watching Netflix. He watching you struggle. You married the baby daddy. And that's another thing with a lot of women. A lot of these baby mamas, reason why a lot of them are miserable too is because they're with men who are watching them be in a struggle. I witnessed that a lot. There are men who will sit right there, these low common denominator, these build-a-bum dudes, these better dudes, they will sit right there and watch their woman struggle. And guess what? Ironically, she'll turn around and get pregnant from him. On top of already fighting to get child support from, trying to ask for increase in child support from the baby daddy who already given her money. It's just a ongoing ratchet ass cycle in the black community that a lot of us as black women, we're not trying to avoid it. We walk right into it every time. Yeah, homosexuals. Yep, the deadbeat rhetoric was part of the DHS scripted answers. Absolutely. And I really honestly would say is that a lot of women have been throwing the word deadbeat around like a collection plate at a Pentecostal church. And when I hear the word deadbeat, I will say there are some deadbeats. We know that. There are some men who will go around raw dogging women, impregnating females and don't take care of their kids. We know there's deadbeats. We know that. However, deadbeat has been a term that irresponsible women have used for years that did not take the proper precautions to protect themselves from unnecessary pregnancies. I will say that again. Deadbeat daddies is a term that irresponsible women have been using for years to condone not protecting themselves from unnecessary pregnancies that could have been prevented. Most of the time, these women already know these guys are not father material before they even get pregnant from them. Exactly. That's the point that's the point I'm on now, Miss Jill. Deadbeats usually have plans before women have these kids. I stand on that. Absolutely. And that is the lane I'm turning in. 9 times out of 10, you already knew he was a deadbeat before you got pregnant from him. You knew that. 9 times out of 10, he wasn't even a good boyfriend, let alone a good father. Most of the time, you saw he wasn't even a good boyfriend. He wasn't even dependable as your man. You got $20 for me to get some gas? I ain't got it. I ain't got $20. You see He's not even dependable when it comes to the simple things. You can't take his word on the simple things. Okay, I'm gonna give you my rent money. I'm gonna give you some rent money when I get paid on the first. Here come the first. He ain't got no rent money. You call him on the first. Okay, when you gonna put in your half? Man, the man ain't paid me my money yet. I'm still waiting on the man, to give me my money. But yeah, you turn around, you see him with a new pair of Jordans on his feet. And that's very true, BK. Most of the real deadbeats are not on child support. You're absolutely right. Most of the men who don't really take care of their kids, they're not on child support. Because for one, child support cannot even they can't even locate these type of men, because most of them, they don't have jobs. So child support cannot locate them to garnish their wages. Most of these deadbeats, they move from place to place to place. They stay with different baby mamas. They take turns staying with their baby mamas. When they fall out with Kiki, they go and stay with Keisha, fall out with baby mama Keisha, then he moving in with baby mama Pam. Well, most deadbeats, you can't even make them responsible, which is what makes them deadbeats. Most deadbeats are not on child support. I know one dude, he has like 5 baby mamas. And every time he works a job and he knows that child support finds out about it, he will intentionally quit the job and go to another job. Basically, he quits every time he sees child support garnishes something out of his check. He'll quit and go somewhere else. A lot of dudes do that. A lot of them do that. Kayla says, I like to say, if he wasn't crap when you were effing him, a baby wasn't going to change that. Oh yeah, of course they get mad. Because we're supposed to focus on him being a deadbeat. We're not supposed to tell the baby mother what she's doing wrong. Oh, absolutely not. How dare you tell a woman she shouldn't be complaining about her child support? I mean, she shouldn't be complaining about her baby daddy when she picked that man. She chose that man. I've had a female that went so far as to telling me, when I asked her, well, why did you get pregnant? She was already struggling with him. She already saw he wasn't taking care of the one they had. She saw he had bad issues with gambling and with debt. She saw all the red flags there. She was able to survive with one child. She turned around and got pregnant again. So I asked her, well, why did you get pregnant again? Her excuse to me was, it just happened. I can't tell you how many times I've heard a woman say, it just happened. So what you mean? You was walking over something and you just tripped over the penis? I mean, how did it just happen? And all it is just a cop-out to avoid having to take accountability. Now, as I was stating before, back to these points so I don't lose track, how the baby mama loses. How the baby mama loses is, again, you have some men, they don't handle their business. They have nothing set up. They have nothing established. If something were to happen to them, they have their bank accounts tied up where nobody can't get to their bank accounts unless a lawyer gets involved, unless the states get involved. I stated that's what DMX did. He did not handle none of his business. Again, he might have been a nice guy. I'm sure he was a giving guy, but he left all of these women in the bind, and they put themselves in a position to do that. Being a mother of a man's child, these are questions you need to ask. If something were to happen to you, how do I know? How can I guarantee that our child will still be taken care of? See, women, we don't ask these questions. We just look at how fine he look, how big his package is, how big his wallet is, or whatever. We don't go into these type of questions. And what ends up happening is it eventually comes back to haunt us. So that's the first thing as a baby mama. You could be having a child from a man who just does not handle business. All men do not handle their business. They just don't. You got a lot of irresponsible women out here. You have a lot of irresponsible men. They don't handle nothing, you know, and they leave everybody here to have to try to figure things out. And that's what's going on with DMX. Now, this is the next thing. You know, how as a baby mama, what's up, Ishmael? You put yourself in a losing position because you can pay the price based on the type of relationship he has with his ex-wife or other baby mamas. For instance, let's say if this man is still legally married to his ex-wife and he passes away, you know, and he didn't write out a will for your child to benefit, that means his wife is going to be over all his assets, over all his royalties. And if she cannot stand you, what you think is going to happen? If he didn't handle his business and he didn't legally get a divorce, he didn't legally end his marriage, and you was not getting along with the woman who's going to be over all his assets, do you really think she's going to look out for you? Do you really think she's going to be like, well, they do have a child together, so you know, that's the stuff, you know, women, y'all don't think about stuff like that. If you already don't get along with his baby mamas and y'all all got to go to court to battle, you know it's going to be ugly because y'all don't get along. If you already don't get along with 3 or 4 of his baby mamas and something happens to him, you think them heifers going to try to reason with you? You think them heifers going to try to like even it out with all the kids benefit? No. When things go down, you will really see people's true colors, especially when a dollar is involved. Which I already said this in my last video. I said that all that crying and mourning they was doing at DMX funeral, and this is not to say that they wasn't in pain. This is not to say that they wasn't grieving, but I told y'all, I said eventually the grieve is going to transform into greed because bills going to have to be paid. Now, the thing is, with his wife, with his fiance, Desiree, the house she's staying in when she was with DMX those 8 years, I hope the house was in her name, because if it wasn't his, guess what? She going to end up having to move out of that. I hope he at least put a car in her name, because if they were driving different cars and all the cars belong to him, she ain't even going to be able to get nothing. She's not even going to be able to get a car out of the deal. This is what happens when you get involved with a man that's in a relationship. You get comfortable. Not a relationship, but a man who has not handled his business. Both of y'all get comfortable. Because y'all are together and because y'all in a relationship, you will get comfortable. You don't feel the need to legally secure things. Now I know this is off a topic, but I see Ishmael said, "Yo, y'all saw BET Awards last night." No, I have not seen, and I'm being frank, I have not watched the BET Awards since Biggie and Tupac died. I haven't watched the awards in almost 20-something years. So I can't tell you anything about it. I don't watch it because these new artists today, they just, it's a minstrel show. These black artists today, these rappers, these R&B, it's a minstrel show. It's embarrassing. Maybe I done got too old, but I can't take the outlandish outfits and the Rainbow Committee, and I'm gonna say the Reading Rainbow, because people get offended. I don't want nobody flagging my video. Seeing the Reading Rainbow wear these over the top outfits who don't make no sense. I've been catching pictures of, because like I said, I don't watch it, but I've been seeing people post pictures of the BET Awards and seeing what Nas X had on and all. I'm like, it's just a minstrel show. That's why I haven't watched it in years. I don't watch none of them. I don't watch Soul Train Awards. I don't watch MTV Awards. And Lord knows I don't watch BET Hip Hop Awards. I don't watch none of that stuff. It's garbage. It's straight garbage. I will watch the Sanford and Son Marathon before I watch one BET or award show. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's a minstrel show. People be so excited, like, oh, BET Awards coming on now. I'm like, and I'm trying to watch Golden Girls Marathon. I don't care about none of that. It's a hot mess. And it seems to get worse every year. Music today is terrible. Maybe I done got old. I don't know, but I can't do it. They can't perform. They don't really perform. They just get on the mic and walk back and forth up and down the stage, grabbing a crouch. I got to see the ratchet singers twerking, and I can't do it. I can't do it. Yep, Tanya says, what's up, Tanya? I haven't watched since Michael Jackson died in 2009. I'm going to tell y'all, the last best performance I saw, the last best performance I saw besides Pac and Biggie, honestly, was MC Hammer. People could talk about MC Hammer all day. I know they make a mockery out of him since his bankruptcy. I know a lot of people, they clown the man because he lost a lot of millions. But let me tell you something. When he put on the show, he put on the show. MC Hammer had every bit of 30, 40, 50 dancers, background singers. I mean, he was dancing and rapping and never got out of breath. I mean, he was a powerful performer. Even you had rappers like Heavy D who used to dance. I mean, what's up, Amari? Blessings to you. Back then, artists used to not just rap, but they actually danced. They don't do that no more. They just, I can't stand today's music. I mean, like I said, I don't watch that stuff. I don't even listen to the radio. All of my music, I have it downloaded to my MP3 player. I don't listen to the radio. I don't even, I have nothing to do with today's music. I have nothing to do with it, and I don't want no parts of it. Yep, I can't do the twerking. I can't. I'm just tired of it. I can't. No, thank you. So to whoever won the awards last night, congratulations. I mean, may the force be with you, but I honestly can't tell y'all because I don't watch it. A lot of times when I'm bored on YouTube, I'll pull up the old BET Awards. I'll watch their old stuff before I watch any of their new stuff. I don't watch the stuff today. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to answer y'all question on that. But I know nothing about today's music. So if y'all ask me about any artists today or anything, I really can't tell y'all. So yeah, anyhow, but yeah, that was the point before I went into talk about the BT Awards. Being a baby mama, you put yourself at a disadvantage. If his wife or, the woman who he has over his estates, if he's not married, maybe he got his mama over his estates. Maybe he got his sister over his estate. He may have to where somebody in the family is over his estate. That person don't like you. You really think you're going to benefit? You really think you're going to benefit? No, you're not. You're not going to benefit. That person don't like you, or you burnt a bridge with them. They'll say, damn you and damn your child. They won't care. Yeah, G Potter, I agree with that. I miss the real bands. Unfortunately, the only way you're going to catch the real bands, you got to go to catch one of their live concerts on tour or watch a lot of their old stuff because nobody plays their own instruments hardly. What's up, Sasha? Blessings to you. What's your view on OnlyFans trying to no longer do adult entertainment on their site? I am so for it, Kai. I am so for it. I'm so for it. I hope they go into execution and they do it because that'll eliminate these females with low self-esteem. That'll eliminate them having a platform where they could benefit off of these better males that are investing and paying just to view them. I knew they were. I knew it was only a matter of time. They was going to get it to this point because people, a lot of these Instagram thoughts, they was overly abusing it. They was becoming more ratchet. They was becoming more vulgar. A lot of them not going to be able to pay their rent now. A lot of them not going to be able to pay their rent. They're not going to be able to pay on their Toyota Camrys. A lot of these women who have learned to use OnlyFans as a way to get monetary gain, all of them are going to be sick now. And I'm glad. But the same thing happened with Backpage. Same thing. They thought they was going to keep getting away with that Backpage mess. FBI got a hold of that and shut that down. I mean, I heard they got other little sites or whatever, but the other things they used to substitute it still wasn't hitting on nothing like Backpage was. Now they got to put in more work. You Backpage or you want to sell some booty, you got to put in more work now. As for Backpage, it just gave a lot of these females easy access to obtain clients, to build clients. Now they got to put in work. Oh, so I'm gonna have to hit me up a cup of that. Believe it or not, I just because I'm a heavy coffee drinker, and to all my coffee drinkers out there, if you really want good coffee and you don't want to always have to go out and buy it, my recommendation is get you fresh ground coffee from your local grocery market. When I tell you, when you get the coffee beans and you actually get them grinded and you don't buy that prepackaged grounded coffee, there's a big difference because it's not already processed. I just learned that like this week. But I definitely love Waffle House coffee when it is fresh, when they just brewing it. I don't want it when it's halfway to the bottom and everybody done got a cup. Yep. I like the Keurig machine. Only thing is I don't like the fact that you can't really adjust the strength as like you would like. They have it. The Keurig has it to where you're kind of restricted to how you want to strengthen your coffee. That's the only thing I don't really care for. But yeah, so to anybody who drinks coffee, get the actual coffee beans and buy you the coffee grinder and grind them yourself. Big difference. Big difference. Don't buy the prepackaged ground coffee. Get the coffee beans and grind them yourself. I guarantee you will see the difference. You will taste the difference. Yep. Amari, I grind mine from Sprouts. 2 good oil floats on the top. Yeah, I'm telling you. What's up, King Bar? That coffee hit different when you grind them coffee beans yourself. I'm telling you. They got the like I said, they got grocery stores where they got the coffee grinding machine there. And like when I went to Fresh Market yesterday, they had big bins of coffee beans, different ones. They had the Colombian dark roast, they had the New Orleans medium roast flavor. They had different ones. And what you do is you scoop up the coffee beans, you put them in a bag, and then you take the bag to the grinder and it'll grind the coffee for you. And I tell you, it's a big difference. Let's see. Mocha, why you think they want to keep wearing them bonnets? With the bonnets, that's kind of like I think it just all depends on how you look at bonnets. I think if a female intentionally just wears bonnets every day, she leaves the house wearing bonnets just as everyday attire is one thing to leave the house, because I honestly I have left the house a couple of times in a bonnet. But when I would, it was because I was on my way getting my hair done, or I was on my way getting some products for my hair, and I was getting ready to do my hair. Now, I'm not going to wear a bonnet in a place of business. You're not going to catch me in a grocery store with them on. You're not going to catch me in the post office with them on. There's been times where I just want to get a cup of coffee. I want to go to Starbucks to get a cup of coffee. I'm not doing my hair. I'm going to put my bonnet on because I know I'm not getting out of my car. I'm going to a drive-thru. Or you got some women who wear bonnets because they're just going to drop their kids off to the child care, daycare, and they going home to do their hair. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with it if you have a reason, purpose to wear it, but as everyday attire, you wear it every day. You go to places of business. You're going to a meeting. You're going to pay bills. I don't think you need to be wearing a bonnet. But that's how I feel with bonnets. And you got some women, and honestly, you got some women, believe it or not, it's not just ratchet chicks who wear bonnets. You got women that are extremely comfortable, especially married women. Married women, they don't feel the need to have to dress up all the time. Married women are very extremely comfortable, because when you know you're not when you know you're married, you're not out on a prowl. You're not trying to catch anything. So you'll see more married women wearing bonnets than single women, or women who are in relationships, because the man who they love or the man who they care about already knows how they look without their bonnet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I have a husband, so me personally, I wear a bonnet, here and there in the street. It's not so much that I'm ratchet, but I'm comfortable. I have a husband at home who already knows what I look like with my bonnet on, So I'm not concerned about men looking at me funny or looking at me like, why she got a bonnet on her head? I already have a man, so I'm not, you know what I mean? Some women are just extremely comfortable. But like anything else, some things we take too far. You don't wear a bonnet in church. Now, I've seen, like when I took my flight to Vegas, I saw a lot of women wearing bonnets. That's understandable when you're at an airport wearing a bonnet, because when you're on a plane, you have those cotton, those seats are not made out of the best material. So when you're in a plane and your head is rested on the seat, it jacks your hair up to where you're getting off the plane looking like a hot mess. But your bonnet keeps your hair in place because your bonnet is made out of silk. So your bonnet is not, is not messing your hair up. But I will say this, what women have to understand is there are bonnets that don't look like bonnets. Like I just got into the ones that look like they got a little bun. They're like little pretty wraps. Because really, women in Africa and women in even these foreign countries and stuff, they wear wraps that you can use as a bonnet, meaning it keeps your hair together, but it's stylish. It looks good. It looks like it's like an aphrodisiac type of authentic type of wear. So they do have wraps. I will recommend, if you really don't want to look too tacky, just get what's called a nice wrap. A wrap, they have them in different designs, different colors. They don't look like bonnets. Like me, I was on a 4-hour flight from Vegas to, I'm like, no, I got to wear something on my head. But what I did was I had a wrap. It's the wrap, the way you tie it up, and then you put like a stylish, you wrap it up in a bun, it looks really stylish. It looks a lot more classy. It don't look as low budget. Yeah, locks. Yeah. Very true. And even with the locks, I seen a nice wrap for the locks. But like I said, it's a wrap. It's not a bonnet. It's a different, but like I said, you just have to, as a woman, you got to you got to know it's a time and a place for everything. What's up, Sheep Slay TV? Blessings to you. Now, to this next point, y'all, about how the baby mama loses. The state is going to enforce that he takes care of his children. As I stated with DMX fiance, child support is going to have to go 17 ways. Child support is going to have to be split 17 ways. Now, I'm not sure of DMX's network, but Lil Wayne said something that was very interesting. Now, Lil Wayne is one of those people I really don't listen to him, because to me, I always feel like Lil Wayne is on syrup and oxycodone. He just looks like he's always on something. Lil Wayne is just one I don't like. I don't take nothing he says seriously, but he did say something that really stood out to me one time when he was talking about finances and network. And he said, he made a very interesting comment. He said, yeah, my network may say I'm worth such and such million. That's what I'm worth. My worth says that, but that doesn't mean that's what I'm receiving. Y'all have to realize people net worth and what they are really receiving as far as income is not the same thing. So DMX's network, from what I can tell, and I don't know how valid this is, but his network is 1 million. That's not a lot of money. Not coming from his world. Now that's a lot of money for us struggling folks, but 1 million, that's not a lot of money. Now, let me see. Now I'm seeing, okay, it's saying as of 2001, it's estimated at 1 million. But another source here is saying it's 10 million. Okay, that was 2020. It went from that in a year to 1 million. Either way, depending on how much he owes, who's over his royalties, who's over his assets. I really don't think he has a lot. I really don't think he's worth a lot. And again, it does not say that his talent is worthless, that he's worthless as a person. We're just talking about financially wise, what he's worth as far as being a recording artist. And from the looks of it, it's saying he's only worth 1 million. That's not a lot. Not for the status of success he has gained. He should have been worth more than that. Way more worth than that. Mocha, how do you feel when the baby mama of 2-3 kids finally gets married to a non-baby daddy and her monthly benefits are cut off? Meaning that once she remarries or once she gets with another man, her benefits cut off. You meaning married, right? Because remember, there's a difference between being married and a difference with shacking up. So just kind of explain to me a little bit more clearly which direction you going with that. So what's going to happen is DMX fiance, she's most likely, she's just going to get SSI for her son. She's not going to get nothing else. And SSI, pretty much any child could get SSI from the father, but that's not going to be a lot. Because she only got one son. Just getting married, not shacking up. Yes, in some cases it depends on the state. Once a woman remarries, usually I don't know too many cases of I don't know too many cases in which child support will decrease just because a woman is married. Now I know spousal support does. Alimony does. That's why you have some women, they'll stay married for every bit of 10 to 15 years. They'll never get married because they want to still have access to their ex-husband's earnings in the event he was to pass away. But yeah, it does depend on the state you live in. But I don't know. I've never known child support to decrease, to lower the payments to a child's mother just because she remarries. I've never really heard too much of that. I don't think child support gets affected either way. I think the only way child support is ever really lowered is when a man has other children, because now that child support has to be split. Child support is lowered when a man has other children. It's also lowered if his income drops significantly. Let's say he gets injured on his job and he has to produce receipts. He can't just call the child support and be like, hey, I can't give her them $300, them $500 a month. I'm down on my luck. I can only do $200. It doesn't go that way. He's gonna have to provide proof. He's gonna have to provide medical receipts, documentation. He's gonna have to provide check stubs stating that he's only getting a certain amount of money. It's factors like that that actually can cause child support to be reduced. Also, if she makes way more income than him, if the mother has way more income than him, then in cases like that, child support can be lowered. If it's proven that the mother makes way more income than he does. So that's something that a lot of these women don't think about. When you just a baby mama, you know, you're not the only one that's going to get something. If your baby daddy has 8, 9 other kids, you're going to get a small percentage, just like they're going to get a small percentage. And as I mentioned earlier, the other part is you may not get along with the person who's ownership over his estate. But I already kind of said that earlier. If DMX kids end up being the administrator of his estate, if his sons end up being the administrator, I doubt very seriously, I'll be surprised if they look out for her and give her anything. What's up, Lord Drag One? Yeah, I don't know. I think that rumor with Beyonce has been debunked. They said they haven't bought any of DMX's loyalties. So I'm not sure. You know, sometimes the media, when they get a story or something, they just add all kind of other stuff to the equation. Stepmom, stop working so much. Oh, goodness. My son mom stopped working so much when she found out I was getting back child support. It amazes me. Yeah, when the shoe's on the foot, it's a different story. Very true. Let's see. Women, we tend to, again, women, the problem is we always allow feelings to be the priority over facts. Don't let love be a priority over being established. You know, it's almost like you got a man staying with you. He not working. He not contributing towards the bills. And you're the only one that's working, but you love him so much. You're willing to overlook the fact that he's not financially contributing. Well, being that you are allowing your feelings to make him feel comfortable with not working, the reality is with him not working to help you, the reality is you're going to suffer. It's a lot of women that are suffering over feelings, and that's our fault because you love him. You love him enough to keep having babies from him when he's already showing you he's not taking care of the kids he have. He's not taking care of the one child you had. Now you're on your second and your third. Don't let love be a priority over being established. No different than if you as a man, you so in love with a woman, you don't care that she can't handle no kind of business for you. Nothing. You get sick. You was to pass away. She can't handle nothing financially for you because you allowed her to practically be lazy, you know, and helping you to handle business. I know a lot of men now that are suffering from that, mostly, you know, men who are 50 and older. Or you have some men who love to be the HNIC. They want to run everything. Kept the wife out of all the bank accounts, kept the wife out of the finances. She don't know how the bank account look. She don't know how his assets. She don't know anything. So in the event he in his deathbed, she don't even know where to start. But you have some men, they want to be in charge of everything, but then when something happens and they need the woman to step up, she don't know how to. So you have to be very careful. It's a thin line when you want to be the HNIC at all times, because God forbid if something happens to the leader. If something happens to you as the leader, when you are the one who are always handling things, and now you need her, she don't know how. She's like an infant. You have a lot of married women that are infants. They're like big babies. I know a lot of married women who can't handle nothing, who don't know nothing. Because either the husband had an agenda, he was being sneaky, hiding bank accounts and excluding her so he could pay off his mistress on the side, or outside kids, whatever he doing with the money. She ain't got a clue. And won't find out till he passes away. Oh, he got a kid over here. Oh, he got ex-wife over there. You have a lot of women that are married women that are being left out of their husband's business affairs. Then when something drastically happened, she's looking stupid. She's looking dumb. She don't know nothing. I know plenty of married women right now. If their husbands was to pass away, they're going to be lost in the sauce. They're going to need their kids. They handle everything for them because they're not going to know what to do. And you got a lot of married men who love their wives, but they don't trust them. They don't trust them enough to let them know where anything is. Yep, Tanya, right. That's the price these women pay for not having their own. And marriage is work. It really is a lot of work. But the biggest problem is, like I said, DMX fiance, she was not married to him. She don't have a ground to stand on. There's absolutely nothing she can do. And the last biggest problem is when you've been engaged over 3 years. I know somebody who's been engaged almost 10 years. If a man tells you he wants to marry you or he wants to have a future with you, my thing is, how long you going to keep wearing that engagement ring? Like Chrissy Lumpkin and rapper Jones. How long you going to be wearing an engagement ring? Now, again, this if a man has already verbalized he wants to marry you. Now, if he hasn't already verbalized that, then you can't be pressuring or enforcing a man to marry you if he has not already verbally stated that that is what he wants. You can't force him. If he's already verbally stated, yes, I would love to marry you, y'all need to set a date and get it done. You don't always have to wait. So you have this big old outlandish extravagant wedding. But a lot of you women, y'all don't have engagement rings. Y'all got what's called installment rings. He's stalling you. He keeps stalling you. What good is the ring when there's no date behind it? And like I said, this ain't the man's fault. This is something women aren't doing. Cause you got some dudes, they don't potentially be trying to stall, but you got some men that are procrastinators. You don't push them hard enough. You don't push them. You don't get them. You don't motivate them to make it happen. They're not going to. And usually, most of the time, most men are not motivated to take things to the next level when you're already doing everything that a wife does. 9 times out of 10, Desire, DMX's fiance, she was already doing everything a wife does. That's why she was trying to fight for common law marriage. She's already cooking, already cleaning. She done bared his child. When you sit up here and you do all these wifely roles, 9 times out of 10, it tends to make men complacent. Will make a man complacent. Like, as the saying goes, why buy the milk when you already got the cow? Again, that's not the man's fault. That's the woman's fault. Yeah, you got to apply the pressure. Like I said, now, this is only if the man has stated he wants to be married. If he hasn't stated that, then there's no need in pressuring and trying to enforce him to do so. But she was with him for 8 years. So the way I look at it is, they probably still wouldn't have got married within, it probably would have been another 2 years, if that. So with these long engagement rings, some of these men buy the Wally World ring just to keep that woman tied to him without a commitment. Exactly, Tanya. Exactly. And no disrespect to DMX, but he's already, shown signs that he can't commit to a woman. Now, you got some guys that are good guys. I'm sure he gave Desiree whatever she wanted financially while he was here. I'm sure he paid the bills. I'm sure he was a good boy provider while he was here. But you got some guys, you got some men, like you got some women that are good women, but that don't make them wives. You got some men that are good men, but that don't make them husbands. To me personally, DMX was not the type of man to have a child from or build a future with. Because he just had way too much going on. And again, this isn't to disrespect his negligency. This is not to disrespect his success. But truth be told, that's not the kind of man you can build a future with. I'll get off of X since he's not here to defend himself. Look at Future. Future is not a man to have a future with. And in a few minutes, Nick Cannon is not going to be a man you can have a future with. Why would any woman want a man that has multiple children from multiple women? And that is a good one, Tanya. I'm going to tell my girlfriends about that. The Wally World ring. Oh, goodness. Oh, Dwight Howard. Oh, goodness, G. Potter. Oh, goodness. Don't even mention him. He got more kids than the doggone Feed the Children Association. He got a lot of kids. That's just it. I don't know what Desiree was thinking and make it so bad. That's her only child. thank God out of 8 years, that's all she had was that one. DMX was the type of man that lived in the now. Sally, he didn't think about the future, and he didn't. I think DMX didn't think about the future because he was still too busy battling his own demons. He had a whole lot of demons that he couldn't conquer. He had so many demons that he was struggling with. I don't think the future was nowhere on his mind. You know, he was still busy battling addiction. On top of that, you know, trying to be a father, all your kids, you know, looking for you to be there. You know, he was a man with a lot on his plate, you know. Too much is given, much is required. It's a lot that comes with success. People look at success, people envy success, but it's a lot that comes with it. It's a lot of problems, it's a lot of issues. You know, you got everybody handing out their hand. On top of that, don't be a person who already has habits. If you have habits before you become successful and you make money, money will make your habits worse. If you already was a crackhead when you were struggling, you're going to be even more of a crackhead when you make money. If you was already a whore when you was broke, give a whore some millions, they're going to whore even more. So money just enhances your bad qualities. And DMX was already a man who had many of demonic issues that he was up against, and the success made it worse. And then you have to realize this man didn't have a very good relationship with his mother. You know, so it's a whole lot of factors. So I empathize with DMX that all of this, you know, became the result of his demise. He didn't really get a fair shot. He didn't really get a fair chance. He was already kind of doomed from the start, you know, and these women, they enabled it. You know, they were sleeping with him, you know, and having babies from him. And none of these women was women enough to try to make him get help. I will say Tashira, his wife, was the only woman who really fought to try to get him help. You know, these other women, I don't know, but they were so in love, they were so infatuated with DMX that or they wanted so badly to just be with him. They really did not try to help this man get any help. They didn't try to help him better himself. And it's sad that a lot of these women got up with DMX with their own hidden agendas, because let's face it, these women know what they were signing up for. What's up, Double C? We're not going to play the victim. Ain't no need for them to sit there and play the victim, because a lot of them knew what they were signing up for. They knew DMX had multiple children. I mean, look at Nick Cannon. All these women, they know about the other baby mamas. That's not stopping them, no. Everybody taking turns getting knocked up and having a seed for Nick, because it's all about family. It's unfortunate that a lot of these females, they're not striving for family anymore. They're just striving to have a paycheck. They don't want a man in their home to help them raise the child, to help them build a legacy. It's sad that a lot of women, they have this ratchet psyche where it's all about just getting a paycheck. It's all about $1 and not having a father. When really, yes, you're getting a paycheck every month, but you got to realize these men like Nick Cannon and DMX and Future, all these men, these industry dudes especially, they travel around a lot. They're always in other states. They're in other countries. They're on tour. There's a lot of temptation that comes with this type of lifestyle. Every groupie that's throwing it at them, a lot of them lack discipline. They don't know how to turn it down. Especially if you have, by nature, men already love sex by nature. Men already have these animal instincts. So put them in a position with success on top of that, and money on top of that, and temptation on top of that. The only way a man is going to be able to get in that type of industry and still keep his head level-headed, for one, he's going to have a strong, solid wife on his team that's not going to play with him, that's going to see him going astray, see him making bad decisions. Hey, either you get it together or I'm leaving. Because a lot of men in the industry, they did not make them type of choices. Look at Kobe Bryant. He didn't go around here having all kind of kids for multiple women. Look at 𝐜𝐴, who has been with his wife for years. He did not. He's a rapper. I know women was throwing the kitty cat at him on a daily basis, but somewhere he was level-headed and he didn't allow his success or his fame to get him to a point to where he lost his head. Somewhere somebody kept his head on straight. And then also 𝐜𝐴 is also a spiritual guy too. And that's the main thing. You have to have God in your life. And I truly believe, yep, Ice Cube. Absolutely. Ice Cube, Morris Chestnut. It's a lot of men in the industry. Rappers, actors, who didn't go around here raw dogging all kind of women. From Outkast. Big Boy been with his same wife for years. It's a lot of them. The list goes on. So it's not that it can't be done. It's not that it's impossible. You just have men that know that their success is not worth, these temptations and these temporary fulfillment is not worth jeopardizing their success, jeopardizing their family. And 𝐜𝐴, he's done interviews and he said it. I mean, he wasn't always faithful. He was out there wilding out. We all gonna commit. He was out there wilding out, but he knew somewhere, even when he was out there wilding out, he still knew to use his head. And the problem is, you have a lot of guys who use their head without using their other head. They use the wrong head. DMX was not using his head at all. And then, like I said, sometimes one addiction leads to other addictions. If you already got a drug addiction, 9 times out of 10, you'll have a sexual addiction. Other addictions coincide with other addictions. So that's something you need to keep in mind. So, not to say, also not to mention, these men, they had most of them who did remain successful without derailing was because they had a solid woman in their corner who made sure to bring them back into reality and to keep them humble. 𝐜𝐴 wife, Simone, she said she saw when her husband was wilding out in the videos, not wearing his ring and stuff like that. She had to bring him back into reality. Like, wait a minute, you are still married. Somebody got to keep you in check. God says all this, women are better parents and do more than the father crap is being proven to be more and more lies. Absolutely. Just because the state always tends to favor the mothers by giving them the majority of custody when it comes to the children, it does not mean that these women are good mothers. It does not mean that. It's just that the state statutes are very sexist when it comes to children. The state statutes tend to give women more leniency compared to the men. But eventually it does catch up with these women who think they got the upper hand because the system accommodates them and the system allows them to be pathetic without really making them be accountable. It eventually catches up with them, one way or another. So this is just a couple of things that all has to be considered. Yeah, she didn't like the doing it video, and she brought that up, Indigo Kid, and she kept him in check. Sometimes it takes you that's supposed to be one of the essentials of being married. It's more than just, well, I got his last name, or I can get sex from my wife anytime I want because she's my wife. It's more than just that. Basically, you have to keep in mind that your significant other, They are supposed to kind of not control you, but your significant other is supposed to keep you grounded. When one of you sees the other is steering off course or going in directions you shouldn't be going, that is where you as a husband, you have to go to your wife and say, look here, this is not you. You normally don't do this. I don't know where you got these new habits from, but you need to get back into reality. As a wife, you should be able to go to your husband without him being all egotistical and nasty and in his feelings, because I'm the man and what I say goes, and you're just a woman. It should be to where he knows that you're telling him something not because you're trying to control him, but you have his best interest. And that's the way marriage is supposed to be. Marriage is not about controlling each other. It's not about, I'm the man, what I say gonna go. It don't matter what you say, or I'm the woman and you're supposed to take care of me. I don't have to pay any bills. I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. You take care of me because you're the man. It does not go like that. It's supposed to be a two-way street in which both of you are responsible for each other. You both got to be responsible for each other, because what your husband does is a reflection of you as a wife. And what your wife does is a reflection of what you are as a husband. So a lot, like I said, it's a lot of people who really don't know the concept of marriage. They don't understand the dynamics of marriage. And YouTube is making it worse, because you got people up here that are coaching and giving marital advice. A lot of them have not been married to even give marital advice, or some of them have been married too many times, so they don't know what it takes to keep a marriage solid and whole. So the thing about a marriage is marriage will never be perfect, but you're supposed to be able to groom that man to be a better man without him feeling like you're trying to overly dominate his masculinity. And that man should be able to groom you as a woman without you feeling like he's trying to control you and he's trying to change you. Because believe it or not, in marriage, you're supposed to be changing. I hate when people say, when people get married, they change. You done changed ever since you got married. Yes, marriage is about change. No. You used to hang out with Greg and Daryl 3, 4 in the morning when you didn't have a wife. But now that you are married, you cannot hang out with Greg and Daryl 3 in the morning. Yes, you used to turn up and go to the club with Keisha and Kiki, but you're somebody's wife now. So you can't go turn up with Keisha and Kiki. And anybody that's your real friend, they'll respect that. They're not going to make you feel guilty for respecting your wife or respecting your husband, because you do have a lot of these spiritual vampires out here, you know, who want to spiritually drain you and don't want you doing the right thing in your marriage. You have a lot of miserable people out here. They can't get nobody. They really want somebody, but it's not registering why they can't get anyone, because they're selfish. And these would be the same individuals that are hanging around you and try to discourage you from your marriage. The moment you go to them and tell them you got a problem, oh, see, that's why I ain't married. I ain't got time for no woman controlling me and telling me what to do. Or it's a lot of these women, got a lot of single women that's trying to discourage women from marriage. You have a lot of that going on. Just because other people gave up on love and other people don't want to be loved, that's them. If you know that's not your nature, you really want love and you really want to be loved, don't let nobody make you feel guilty about that. If you're out here dating and you're out here, you're trying to find a companion, or you're in a relationship and you want to please your companion, don't let your single girlfriends or your single homeboys make you feel guilty about that. Man, why you got to spend this money on her? Why you got to do what she say? Why you letting that person control you? Why you letting it's not about control. At the end of the day, y'all have to protect y'all marriage. Somebody getting out of pocket. Somebody got to say something about it. You know your husband hanging out way too much. You got to nip that in the bud. Your wife hanging out way too much with her single friends, and nip that in the bud. Now, this is the other thing. If your wife or your husband comes to you and tell you that they see you slipping, you doing things out of character that you normally don't do, and they come to you with it, you cannot be verbally combative. And most importantly, you have to allow God to lead your marriage. If you're trying to lead it or he's trying to lead it, You have to let God be the head of that marriage. When it comes to the order of submission, first God, second the husband, third the wife, and then the children. Once a man allows God to lead him as a husband, he doesn't have to demand authority. It will come naturally. If you are a man that has to demand authority, then somewhere you lost it. If you have to scream to the top of your lungs, I'm the man of this house, I run this house, then evidently you don't run it. You're not leading it, because if you're leading the house, it's going to be shown without you having to demand it, without you having to scream and yell to the rooftop. If you are the leader, you're going to lead. It's going to be known. But what has happened is you have a lot of men that aren't leading. You have some of these dudes that have become lazy. They want the benefits, and it goes both ways. You have women too. You know, you have a lot of men and you have a lot of women. They want the benefits of a marriage, but they don't want the responsibilities. For instance, you have some men, they want to lead, they want to run the show, they want to regulate the house, but they don't want to run the bills. They don't want to pay the bills. Now that part, they don't want to be in charge of that. Or you have women, they want the benefits of being a wife. They want to be taken care of. They want to be able to travel. They want to be able to get money out of their husbands anytime they want. But as soon as this man needs certain stuff done, she don't feel like she got to do it. So it's a lot of misinformation about what marriage is about. Yeah, especially being on Facebook, girls trips and clubbing. Yeah, it comes a point when all of that stuff goes out the window. You cannot be married, but you still want to do what single people do. It does not go hand in hand. It's not going to work. Exactly. And that's really what it boils down to. Everybody just needs to grow up. You have a lot of kids that are getting married, a lot of children that are getting married. So anyway, we'll talk more about that another time too, because I really want to go into talking about how marriage is for grown folks. There's too many children getting married, too many kids. You have women that's infatuated with the wedding, but they're not concerned about the marriage. They're more concerned about the wedding dress, the wedding cake, and all my girlfriends see me walk down the aisle, and you know, it's a whole lot about marriage that's misunderstood, that a lot of people aren't understanding, and this is the reason why the marital rates are so low and the divorce rates are so high, because a lot of people are getting misinformation. It's a lot of lies that are being told about marriage. A lot of people are being told that you're supposed to marry a certain woman, you're supposed to marry a certain man. And the truth is, especially the black YouTube sector, is setting up a lot of black men and black women for failure. It's going to lead y'all into failure with relationships. A lot of y'all are going to lose out on good black men and good black women because y'all are allowing the wrong people to influence y'all and program y'all into believing that you're entitled. Because the truth is, everybody is not entitled to a certain type of woman. All men, honestly, all men aren't entitled to getting a certain type of woman. Just like there's a lot of women that are not entitled to getting a certain type of man. All these preferences got a lot of black men and black women screwed. Preferences. You know how many times I have heard that? I got a preference. My type. lot of y'all with these types. Oh, you don't want that kind of woman, and that may be the right woman for you. The type of woman you don't want. I ain't talking about the one who's ratchet and wearing different color rainbow Skittle hair colors in her head. Yeah, it's certain women you're not supposed to go for, but Decent women who you know about something, but because she don't look the way you want her to look, and I get it, looks everything, but when you get a woman who look a certain way, you feel like it's a lot of problems with her too. You've discovered because he look a certain way. I don't care what kind of car he drive. He's an asshole with that car. He's mean. He's nasty. He's arrogant. He looks good, but he doesn't know how to respect women. He don't know how to talk to women. And honestly, the ones who look so good, they don't even be that great in bed. But these are the dudes y'all like to consider y'all preference. All these preferences, what I've come to discover, just because that's your type, that don't mean you're going to be their type. I'll say it again. Your type is not always going to consider you as their type. It amazes me how you have men going around here talking about how women who need to lose weight when he can barely see his own feet when he sit down. It's a lot of unrealistic expectations. You got men looking for women, the whole qualities that they don't even have, and you got women doing the same thing. You got women who up here wanting guys with A+ credit, but she got multiple baby daddies. You have a lot of black men and black women. The problem with these dating coaches and the crap, this fast food knowledge, this fast food material that they keep feeding y'all on Facebook, these dating coaches, they're setting you up for delusions. Because every high value man is not a high value man. We've been throwing that term around, high value man, high value man. Just because a man wears a suit, and just because he wears expensive gator shoes and expensive ties and designer labels, and that does not mean he has value. That means he values his clothes, he values his designer labels, but that does not mean he has value, no more than a high value woman. Just because she wears expensive red bottoms and expensive Dolce & Gabbana, she values her clothes, she values her appearance, she values her image. But does that mean she values her morals? That has nothing to do with it. And that is the problem with black people. Black men and black women are easily able to be deceived through image. All we have to do is look the part. All we have to do is fake it till you make it. Pretend to act like you know what you're talking about. Wear the uniform, and people will believe that you're qualified in preaching what you preach. As I stated before, you don't have to produce any real receipts. Back in the day, you had to produce receipts that you were qualified to teach certain things. Remember, back in the day, you couldn't just be a teacher. You had to prove that you were certified in being a teacher. You had to prove that you had degrees. You had to prove that you went to school. Remember that? You had to produce receipts. These days, you don't have to produce receipts. All you got to do is go on YouTube, start a page, start a channel, look good, dress the part, and act like you know what you're talking about, and get a good bit of numbers, and people will believe that you are qualified in teaching what you teach. But the dating world is setting y'all up for failure because they're making black men believe that they are entitled to get a certain type of black woman that they're not entitled to get. Same thing. The YouTube world got certain black women believing you're a queen and you automatically supposed to be a king. When the truth of the matter, all black women are not queens. And we're not going to play with it and act like we all are, because all of us are not. Some of us are peasants. We don't conduct ourselves with class. We don't conduct ourselves with grace. We're quick to want to jump over the counter at Waffle House and beat the cook down because they messed up on our cheesesteak omelet. All of us are not queen material. And this is where we fall short, because we have people making us believe we are something we are not. Because the truth is, some men are never going to be good husbands, just like there's certain women that are never going to be good wives. I don't care how good they look. I don't care how good they dress. And these kind, let me tell you something. They don't always have to be non-successful. A man could be successful with his money. He could be successful with his business, but that does not mean he will be successful as a husband. Same thing with a woman. Your success does not define you as wife material or husband material. Because the truth is, a lot of individuals, they do not know how to treat people. They don't know how to treat people. Got nothing to do with how many degrees you got. Got nothing to do with the fact that you're a beautiful woman or you're a handsome man and you wear the nicest suits. You can have all of that and be just as nasty, just as arrogant, just as whorish. I know plenty of well-dressed people that are well-dressed, but underneath those $2,000 of money suits, they are very demonic, very corrupt, spiritually corrupt. Because there's a lot of spiritual corruption going on within the world that we are living in. It's a lot of wolves and lambs clothing out here. And you have to be spiritually woke to understand that. Everybody is not who they say they are. Looks are deceiving. So again, I'm going to definitely do more topics on talking about marriage, because again, I think a lot of black men and black women, y'all have been getting the wrong information about marriage, and y'all been getting the wrong information from people who are not married, or they've been married so many times they can't tell you what it takes to keep a marriage together. You have to learn from people who not only talk the talk, but they can walk the walk. I don't know about y'all. A person who can't cook, I'm not going to go to them and ask them. A person who can't grill, I'm not about to go to them and ask them how to grill ribs, barbecue ribs. For instance, you're not about to sell your house to somebody who cannot produce that they have the income to buy that house from you. You want to see what's called receipts, right? If somebody applies for a job, they can't just say, I know I'm fit for the job. They have to produce receipts. They have to produce a degree. They have to produce that they got the experience, that they work other positions that's similar to this. So my thing is this: in a world that requires us to constantly and consistently produce receipts, why are y'all not applying that to the information that people are giving you? Why are y'all not looking at the receipts that they produce? You judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. If the tree is only bearing apples, why would you be concerned that the tree wants to talk about oranges? A lot of people are not producing receipts. They're just getting on here, running their mouth, because popularity has nothing to do with sincerity. And I've already told y'all that before. Just because a person is popular in what they do, it does not mean they have any good intentions behind it. They're not trying to build you. They're not trying to heal you. It's all about them gaining off of your weaknesses. A lot of people are not sincere in what they do, the knowledge that they're putting out there. A lot of people, they're not genuine behind what they do. You have some people that could be doing something for a reason, but it does not mean it's a good reason. People may do a good thing, but that don't mean they're doing it for a good reason. And that's what a lot of y'all have to understand. You have a lot of these coaches that's 1 minute telling black women they need to stay away from men who can't provide for them and can't take care of them. But then they turn around and another spin the narrative and then say, as a black man, you're not qualified to provide for a black woman. All this back and forth and up and down. They got different narratives depending on who attention they trying to gain. for the moment, you know, when truly the matter of it is they're not trying to construct you, they're trying to destruct you. They're not trying to build you up, they're trying to tear you down. Because the truth is, you got people, they don't want to see nobody happy with nobody. So if they got to bash both sides, that's to cause division. Think about it. Anybody that promotes division, they don't have any good intentions behind the message that they preach. Because the message that you preach is supposed to bring something together, not pull it apart. Because think about division. When you hear the word division, once we divide, we lose division. Division, dividing, meaning once we divide, we will lose division. And that is what a lot of these black sector false prophets and the black YouTube sector is preaching. They're preaching content that's constantly dividing. So it don't take a rocket scientist for anybody who hasn't figured out how can you tell the difference between a content creator that's really giving you knowledge to build you or a content creator that's giving you knowledge to destroy you. Simple answer. Is it bringing people together or is it dividing people apart? It's simple as that. If it's causing division, then it's not, then they're not promoting anything good. If it's bringing people to come together, then yes. So if you ever had a question in your mind, how to figure out what's a good content creator versus what's not a good content creator, the toxic content creator, their goal is to divide, to destroy and to divide. What's up, Beyond? The positive content creator, they're trying to build and bring people together. That is the difference. So if you ever wondered, now you know. And you don't have to say any names, but if you listen to certain individuals, pay attention. Is this person giving content that's dividing or building? Once you can answer that question, then you already know. So anyhow, y'all, I'm going to get ready to shut down this operation. It's definitely been real. I want to thank everybody for the cash apps. I want to thank everybody for the support. Again, to all the women out here, before I get ready to shut things down, y'all need to be really selective. Y'all need to be very careful with who you choose to breed your seed from, especially when you're going after a man's title versus who he is. You're going after a man because he's a rapper. He's an athlete. You're going by the brand instead of the name behind the brand, the character behind the brand. Once you start to do that, you will eliminate yourself from a lot of problems. But anyway, y'all, it's been real. It's been awesome. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha. Remember, I'm going to always pour you a cup of truth and break you off a slice of knowledge. Make sure y'all subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit the like button. It's only free. Ladies, don't forget, I have my own separate channel for the ladies, Mocha's Ladies Lounge. It's specifically for women. When we talk about relationships, talk about marriage, we talk about mothering, parenting, all problems that are related to women. I'm still going to get with the guys for the melanated minds, the melanated male minds. I'm still going to get the guys with that, so we can try to get this panel started for the men. So anyway, y'all, I thank y'all for hanging out with me, and y'all have a blessed day.